There's Dale Earnhardt Jr., who continues to lead. I know we reminded you earlier, but once again, don't forget that TNN Motorsports is offering you official NASCAR collectibles, including the exact die-cast replica of the car that Dale Earnhardt drove at the Winston a couple weeks ago, that Wrangler Monte Carlo. If you want to order that or any of the other great NASCAR collectibles that you've seen, TNN Motorsports is the number to call, 1-877-TNN-1999. That's the number for TNN Motorsports, your NASCAR connection. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. continues to lead now by 4 seconds over second place Ward Burton. How's the day gone for Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Well, he took Barrett early to grab 6th place away as he began his climb to the front. He took 2nd place from Kevin Grubb, hit the wall, but it didn't bother him any, and then bumped his way with a little thank you coming through to Dick Trickle, and took the lead at lap number 89 as Trickle led the first 88 laps. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. has had the top spot as we continue. We are back live at 132. That's the lap count of 200 here today.
You know, Ward Burton said he had a cylinder or something wrong with the engine. I wouldn't be surprised if that thing doesn't have a broken header or exhaust leak or something, because they can't run that good on 7 cylinders. So he's still maintaining 2nd place. Trickle has caught him, but they haven't been able to do anything with him.
You know, we've not talked about, we better mention Jason Keller right now, because Jason is up to 5th place. There he is in car number 57. He got around Kevin Grubb. He's closing in on the 41 of David Green. You know, you wonder what the deal is. He doesn't say much. Jeff Green doesn't say much. And I said to Jason yesterday, why so good? He goes, when me and Steve Addington got together again, driver and crew chief, he said it made a world of difference for me.
There are a couple of things. It's a new team, and Steve and those guys on that team are doing a great job. They're real open-minded. The other thing is, they tell me that the engines in those cars,
Dennis
Fisher engines with John Wilson over there, is making some mighty fine numbers right now, and that's helping them a lot too.
Well, and too, Jason is a fine driver. Everybody's kind of wrote him off, but now he's just doing a great job.
Second place, Dick Trickle finally gets around Ward Burton to grab 2nd, but those fellas are 6 2/10 seconds behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader.
Picking up on what Buddy said, it just always amazes me how those guys, if they ride on, become right-ons when they get in the right car.
Exactly.
I tell you, it makes all the difference in the
Just
world.
like they said, you know, you tear up an anvil, man. You're hard on equipment. You get in a good car, and they go, you know, you're starting to be smart now.
You finally figured it out.
Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Well, we're with Tommy Baldwin again, crew chief for Ward Burton. Tommy, what's the story on the engine in your car?
We got a miss in the motor, and it's just not going down the straightaway. And it's a shame, because the Siemens Pontiac was going real good today, and you know, he's got to drive the car in so deep and ruin the car through the corners, but we're going to try to hold on, and maybe we can get a top 5 out of this today.
Is driving the car that deep in the corner going to be hard on the tires?
He's trying to make up for straightaway speed, and now the car don't know what it wants to do in the corner because of that. Hopefully we can get some fresh tires on it, get a caution, maybe we can catch a break.
The leader working some traffic, Dale Earnhardt Jr. You saw him go by Stanton Barrett moments ago in that 40 car. He'll now try and challenge Glenn Allen Jr. to put him to the inside and a lap down. That's 28th spot who's about to be lapped.
Boy, I tell you, he's putting that car through a horrible pace right there, trying to pass 2 cars up out of the corner, and does so.
That's just more and more insurance. The more cars you can get between you and that guy in 2nd place, then when you do run up on somebody, you can't just drive by. It doesn't hurt you so bad.
Hey, look who's there on the right of your screen. That's Matt Kenseth, who now has backslid to 10th place. In his last 6 races, 5 top 4 finishes. But Glenn, now all of a sudden, he's back to 10th.
Yeah, Eli, they made a chassis adjustment on the car when they did it a while ago and took off 4 tires. They also tried to loosen the car up, but the car has become very, very tight. And Matt Kenseth will be the first person to tell you he hates a tight race car. He just simply does not like driving with him. In fact, we watched him come off a 4 about 2 laps ago, and he really came close to knocking the wall down out there. So he's fighting a very tight race car right now. They're looking for a caution to get that thing in here and make a big adjustment on his car.
I think when you got somebody running like Dale Jr. is, everybody's looking for a caution to make adjustments. They got to do something to catch up with him in a hurry, because he's going to put a bunch of cars down a lap here pretty quick.
And look, we only have 59 laps to go. As you see, MCI WorldCom bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring. We've had 4 cautions, but this race has really flown right by.
It's kind of like Charlotte was last week. You know, that race, there was some cautions early, and then everybody had to work hard the rest of the night there in Charlotte. Same way today. Early cautions and none late.
Darrell, they were just talking about tight and loose on cars. When you're talking about a car that's tight, one thing you have to do, when it starts pushing up towards the outside with the front end loses grip, you have to back out of the throttle to make it react to you what you wanted to do in the corner. If it's a little bit loose, you can play with the throttle and maybe sometimes run a little bit quicker than if it's pushing real bad.
Yeah, because when the car is pushing, you got the wheels turned to the left. I mean, you're making a left-hand turn, and you need to get the throttle down. These engines don't have a lot of power. You got to get the throttle down. You get the front wheel turned hard left, you're in the power, all of a sudden you lose grip in the front end and you're headed for the wall. And the only thing that'll stop that thing from doing that is to back out of it.
You saw 25th place Joe Bessie just go a lap down to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, here we go.
You have a problem here on the main straightaway.
Shane Hall.
Spinning is Shane Hall. Look out below as everybody manages to just get by. Shane Hall spins off turn number 4. Caution, lap 145. 55 laps from the finish, guys. Time to show what you got.
Oh, man, it's show and tell. This will be fun now.
Yeah, and that your pit stop could win the race for you right now. Getting out there and getting that track position is so very important.
Well, I think some guys made some adjustments on the last stop that they're not happy with. They can undo those now and maybe get their cars like Trickle. I think he can help his car a lot. Some others.
Shane Hall was running 19th at the time of the accident.
Whoa, it looks like
Andy
he had a
Kirby.
little help there.
Andy Kirby might have touched him, or what was that after the fact?
I think that's after the fact. Andy Kirby hadn't been running fast enough to hit anybody, I don't think.
You got to be careful up here. We'll have several replays, I guarantee you.
I've been watching Andy, though, and he's been, I don't think he really caused that.
No, Shane was already well sideways.
And I didn't mean that unkindly to Andy. I just been watching. He hadn't been on up to speed much today. So if that happened, if he did something, it was purely an accident.
All right, so here comes the field now. Here comes the field to turn number 4. Only the cars on the lead lap will be able to pit here. Lap 146 will be pit stops. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in. Dick Trickle, Ward Burton, David Green, Jason Keller, Kevin Grubb, Todd Bodine. They're all in, Ralph Shaheen.
Now keep the RPMs at 4,000, Eli, as they come down the pit straight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is very excited about the way this race car is handling. They're going to take on 4 tires. He said the car is a little bit loose, but then it comes around just 5. Come on, Jarrett.
93.
Well, Ralph, same thing for Dick Trickle. His car was a lot looser than he liked on that first set of tires that they put on in the last pit stop. The set that they started the race on was great. So they're going to make an air pressure adjustment, no wedge adjustment, just air pressure only. Try to tighten Trickle up. And they got problems on the left front. He loses another spot. Well, actually, he does get out in third. I thought Jason Keller was going to beat him out. But Trickle made an air pressure adjustment, try to tighten that race car up. This should be their last stop.
25 cars still on the lead lap. The 5-second lead that Earnhardt Jr. enjoyed is gone. And the fans know it. We're going to have a dandy of a finish coming up.
Yeah. What I was going to tell you, Ward Burton did beat him out of the pit, so he's now in second.
Okay.
Trickle. So he lost the position there.
What I was looking at was the 93 car was over
93,
line
yeah.
by a good bit, and I didn't see an official anywhere, so I guess they got away with it.
This will be a good. Well, Jason Keller's in 4th now. That'll be good.
That is a good story.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, guys, you know, I told you Kansas was real tight. They tried to take a rubber out of the right front. They couldn't get it out. They put the tire on, sent him back out. It's 32 seconds. They lost all the track position. I think they're going to bring him back in and try to get that rubber out.
He's coming down now.
Glenn.
Yeah, that's the reason for the second pit stop.
Hey, Glenn. Bodine is doing quite a job, too. We hadn't mentioned him at all. He's all the way up to 5th. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Todd. 3-time winner here.
Yeah.
And he's got that ozone thing going for him, too.
I'll let you go there. I don't think so.
No.
All right.
We're here. Excuse me?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Do we have to? Do we have to do it?
Hold your crabs.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
pass on the crabs.
Yeah. Look at that. He's got some pretty good donuts on the right side.
Yeah, he's been leaning on people. 36 in particular.
Yeah.
Beatable.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the MBNA Platinum 200 is being brought to you by Midas. Go safely. Go Midas. And by the Home Depot. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the MBNA Platinum 200 is being brought to you by Midas. Go safely. Go Midas. And by the Home Depot, the official home improvement warehouse of NASCAR. Welcome back. We're a lap away from going green. Matt Kenseth has just made another unscheduled pit stop. Glenn, what's going on?
Well, you know, the first time that they came in, they tried to take a spring rubber out of the right front. You know, I told you the car was pushing very badly, so they're going to take that spring rubber out, try to loosen it up a little bit. They could not get it out, so Matt had to put the 4 tires on, go out and come back in. It still took them a very long time to get the spring rubber out. They finally did, so hopefully now he'll have a race car that'll turn where he wants it to, but the problem is he fell all the way back to 25th.
Yeah, you know, as good as he came out of the pits last time, up in 5th place, and he only fell back to 10th, he should have left that car alone. He doesn't have enough laps to get by 25 cars to get back to the front.
There you see where some of your favorites are after the stop. Look at Todd Bodine now. He is in 5th, a 3-time winner here in only 13 starts. The big loser going from 9th to 17th on those exchanges were Kenny Wallace, or was Kenny Wallace, as that young man who is a fan here at Dover and always comes to the races, kind of helps out and throwing the green flag.
Eli Warburton could not get back up to speed there. When the green flag come out, he has a problem with the motor on that car. He just wasn't able to accelerate like he wanted to. Now he looks just fine, though, once he gets the RPMs up.
Yeah. Got some kind of intermittent miss in that motor.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I know about that. That's the worst kind. You can't ever find it, you see. You go in and the crew and say, won't run, it's missing. They can't say, I don't hear anything wrong with it.
But your tooth never hurts and you're in the dentist
No,
chair.
it's like taking your car into the garage. Well, it stalled yesterday.
1 7/10 seconds. Dale Earnhardt's lead on Ward Burton, Dick Trickle, Jason Keller, and Todd Bodine. Remember that yellow Stanley car, if you're just joining us. Tim Fedewa went a couple of laps down early and has been running well, but still is 2 laps down in 30th, but he's staying among the race leaders on the track.
Dale Jr. kind of reminds me of a movie I saw, buddy.
What's that?
A League of Your Own.
Trouble left Matt Kenseth and Joe Bessie right there in the power team car. Caution. Caution on the Speedway for the 6th time, lap 151, as Kenseth and Bessie seem to get together.
Ernie Irvin was also involved. I see him down in the corner now trying to get off the racetrack. So Ernie Irvin was involved also.
Kenseth's fitting back up here somewhere.
And there's Joe Bessie, the power team entry. Of course, power team having a spectacular week last week, winning the Indianapolis 500 with Kenny Breck and team owner A.J. Foyt. You see Matt Kenseth moving around in the car okay.
What a hit he's going to take in the point.
Yeah.
Well,
he was the point leader by only 84 on Earnhardt Jr. Oh, look, Bessie broke loose.
Yeah, Bessie got up
in the marbles
in
there.
that white stuff.
See Ernie Irvin in the 14 there battling to get it back straight there. He was just in the wrong place and got collected.
Oh boy.
You like the cue ball on the billiard table.
Wow.
Just bouncing around.
When you restart in 25th place with 50 laps to go, and you got to get yourself back to the front, you're going to get in trouble.
Now cleanup's going to take a bit, so we'll break away with Dale Earnhardt Jr. continuing the lead. It's a great weekend. We're doing fine. How about you? All right, good.
Uh-oh, Daddy Wags.